happen for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I'm your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified. And I want to kind of get a couple little ads in of my personal Heavy to Modified brand before I get going into this, because I got an amazing topic. It's not going to be a long one, but it's going to be an impactful one. So stay tuned for that one, right? But I want to get to it. So something new that we started is a community on an app called School. Some of you may be aware of it, some of you not. I have talked a lot about myself on my social medias, and I want to talk about my podcast. So I know right now, sometimes for some people, maybe my one-on-one online coaching you've been thinking about doing, maybe you called me and had a book call with me, and maybe the price are a little too much right now. So I do have something for you. So we do weekly group Zoom calls every single Saturday, 3 p.m. PST. It is $10 a month, and I'll be going over mindset. I'll be going over conversations that I have on my podcast. I'll have some guests in there. Sometimes we're going over nutrition. We're going to go over, how to build your macros, how to help you stay in a deficit, some meal prep ideas, everything that you need in there to be successful. And the cool thing about that community is that you guys build it. So whatever we could just decide that what topic is going to be about, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to come up with keynotes, I'm going to have some talking, get some people on there talking, and we're just going to be a community of people that want to get better. And they say if you want to get better, then you surround yourself by people that are living better. They say if you want to be successful, then you should hang around people that want to be successful or that are successful. So I think that'd be a great foot in the door if you ever wanted to get some online coaching, if you're looking to just change your life around. And obviously you are, because you're listening to this podcast for a reason, because obviously this is Modify Your Life, right? And what I want to get into today, and thank you everyone listening to, honestly. It really, really means a lot, and from the bottom of our heart, and myself and the whole team, it means a lot that you listen to these podcasts, because we do take our time with these, and we do never want to put out anything that's not going to be beneficial to someone, whether it makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you think, you learn. Always want to bring value to the people that follow us in the brand and that want to continue to grow with us, and because we're growing because of all of you. So it really means a lot. And a lot of these conversations and a lot of these podcast ideas and topics, either myself or me and Modified Frankie have, our guests they have on, it all comes from conversations I have with my clients. And all my clients know that listen to this podcast, they know that these topics I get are from our conversations, whether it be a group call or it be a one-on-one call. And today I had an amazing conversation, and I wanted to turn into a full podcast, because how I think is that if one person is struggling with this, there's hundreds of people out there that are struggling with this, maybe thousands, right? And it's the situation that we're in. It's the situation and how we handle it. Because what it is that we have a bad situation go on in our life, and we choose to let it take control. We choose to let it take fully control over us. We could be on the path of winning right now. We could be on the path of weight loss, our business building, our mindset building, or just becoming a better human being. And we have one little bad situation happen, and we just let it completely crumble us, right? And it's not the situation, it's how we handle it. Because there's two things in life that we're promised. It's stress and it's death. But how are you going to handle the situation that's in front of you right now? Are you going to crumble and fall? Are you going to figure out a way to get through this? Are you going to deal with this battle that you're facing right now? That battle that you're thinking right now, that mental battle, that physical battle. Are you going to go to war with it right now? Are you going to quit? Because I don't know anyone that's ever quit on themselves that's been successful. I haven't met that person yet. I don't think I'm ever going to meet that person. In life, we are always going to second guess ourselves. We are always going to run back to being comfortable. We're always going to run to the thing we know. For some of us, it's food. For some of us, it's drugs. For some of us, it's alcohol. It could be whatever coping mechanism that you have that you run to. But how many times are you going to run back to that Band-Aid, to that crutch, until you realize that that is actually the thing that's stopping you from winning? That is the thing that's stopping you from being the best version you could be. The best version. The next version is always going to be the best version of yourself. And that one crutch that you're thinking of right now is stopping you. And it's not the situation, it's how we handle the situation. There's so many things in our life that we're going through right now. There's so many different people and different mindsets that's listening to this podcast that is going through different situations and scenarios and handling it differently. The people that are winning, they're taking it head on. The people that are losing for now are running from the problem, are covering up the problem, are putting another Band-Aid on that problem, right? So every single day we're faced with options. And how I want you to look at this is moving forward. I want you to look at everything at like life or death. right? I'm not trying to be an extremist, but hear me out. Look at everything we do as a life or death situation. If I eat this donut, where am I going to be in 5 years? If I don't go do my workout, where am I going to be in 5 years? If I don't do my homework, where am I going to be in 5 years? Because every single day that we wake up and we have that reset button, we have the option to change our direction of where we're going. Every single day, we have options to change the direction of where we are going. And every single time you choose to make the wrong decisions, you're leading yourself around a path of destruction, because we've been down this path before. You've ran to food before for comfort. You've ran to alcohol addiction for comfort, to cigarettes, to drugs for comfort. You ran to that comfortable place and you sat there and you thought about what you want to do and you thought about the changes you need to make. You've talked about making changes, but yet you haven't took any changes. You haven't taken no action. And when you're sitting in this horrible situation and you're thinking about all the things that you should do or could do or need to do, but you're not taking action to any of them, you are just staying stagnant and you're staying in the same place. And we right now, as a whole, as a team, as a community, as human beings, need to change the direction of where we are going. We need to turn this bad situation into a lesson. We need to learn from it. We need to keep fighting, and we need to keep pushing ourselves to be a best version. And I know it's difficult. I know it is difficult to do the right things. I know it's difficult to say the right things. I know it's difficult to take action on the right things. Right? But the situation that we're in right now, we put ourselves into it. If you make a cake and you put it into an oven, what is going to come out of that oven? A cake. It's not going to be an apple pie. It's not going to be a Twinkie. It's going to be a cake. So everything, everywhere, every situation you've handled, whether it's been right or wrong, the outcome, you earned it. Everything in your life that you're looking at is falling apart. You've earned that. Everything in your life that you love and you're happy about it and you're proud of and you're excited about it and you worked hard for it, you earned that. But at the end of the day, we all are going to have problems in our life. We're all going to have problems in our relationships. We're all going to have problems in our weight loss. We're all going to have problems. And anytime we want to become better, but how many times are we going to run away from them? How many times are we going to take the situation and take one day of not tracking and turn it into 2 weeks of not tracking? Take it in one day of not saving money or 1 month of not saving money and turn it into months of not saving money. I could go on and on of things that we keep on doing because it just all goes hand in hand. Like, I'm so serious when I talk about how weight loss and changing your life around is in starting a business is all the same thing. It's accountability. It's discipline. It's consistency, right? It's doing the things you don't want to do when you need to do them. And as we continue to keep on working on ourselves, and even though you're not in the position that you want to be in, even though you're not financially where you want to be, mentally where you want to be, emotionally, spiritually where you want to be, what actions did you take today to get you in that right headspace? What actions did you take today that's going to push you to be that better person today or that better person tomorrow? How did you handle that situation today? Is it going to make you better or is it going to keep you the same? And that's something that we all have to think about. We all have the opportunity to change the route that we're going right now. And I'm not saying that you're going to listen to this podcast and become a changed person for the rest of your life. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Having to Modify. You're a lifesaver. No. What's going to happen though is that something's going to click over consistency to where you're going to keep wanting more for yourself. Right? You're slightly turning to the right a little bit. You've been going to the left a little bit, but now we slightly turn to the right. But just because we slightly turn to the right doesn't mean that we're going to start turning right. It means over time, we're going to start going the other way. Consistency, accountability, discipline. And just because we do it for a day, just because we do it for a week, does not mean that we are set for the rest of our life. And I think that's where we kind of all get it confused. Right? We do something that makes us happy. Like, think about it. The last time you accomplished a task, whether it be you got an A on your test or you got a raise or someone told you you're looking good or someone said, thank you so much for the way you cleaned the restroom. It looks so nice. Or we got a compliment or you compliment yourself. Think about how good you felt. Didn't that feel good? Didn't you tell everyone about the raise you got? Didn't you go out and celebrate with your friends? Didn't you call your loved ones and let them know you finally got that raise that you've been working your ass off for? When's the last time you called someone and told them you binge eat? When's the last time you told someone that you're late in your credit card payments or your phone bill or your rent? Because you're not happy about that. Because you didn't, that's not something to celebrate. That's not something to rejoice. That's something that you feel that people should know, because obviously no one wants to know the truth. No one wants to share the truth about stuff like that. No one wants to talk about stuff like that. But yet when we do something good, we're so happy to share. So why not do the things that make us happy? Why not do the things that we want to share with other people, that we want to influence people to do? Because we want them to feel that good feeling, how it feels to be happy about something. Why do we continue to keep doing the things that we want to hide? Continue to do the things that make us uncomfortable inside, knowing that we're not making the right decisions or doing the right things. Stop doing things that you need to hide and do things that you're going to celebrate. And if you're doing things that you should celebrate and you feel that you have people you can't celebrate with, you need to get rid of them. Gone. Like a fart in the wind. Gone. Because you should be able to celebrate your wins. You should be able to celebrate you becoming a better person of yourself, you leveling up in life. But there's going to be nothing to celebrate if you don't control the situation that's in front of you and change the direction of where you're going. If you don't control your actions, your thoughts, your everything that you do every single day that is going to push you to be better. If you can't control that to make that right decision, then you're never going to know what it is to not only truly be happy, but could truly to know who the best version of yourself is or who you really can become. Because every single time we run into a situation, you let it take over your life. You let it take over all the hard work you've put in. You let it take over all the sacrifice you made, because we start getting a little bit of pushback. We start getting a little kickback. We start getting scared. We start getting uncomfortable. Some of the most uncomfortable situations I have been in have made me the most strongest, powerfulest warrior I've ever become. And I'm not saying that I'm the only person that's been through trials and tribulations. I'm not saying the only person that's had traumas and childhood traumas and X, Y, and Z. But I'm telling you right now, when I stopped letting that control who Anthony Lopez was, when I learned to let that stuff go, when I learned that is not making me the best version of myself, when that's not allowing me to be happy, when I realized when I was the only one holding on to that stuff and the person who caused that harm on me was just living life comfortably, when I really choose to let that stuff go, I started making the right decisions. And when I started making the right decisions, I became happy. I didn't have anxiety. I didn't have depression. I didn't look in the mirror and just disgusted at who Anthony Lopez was, because I chose to change the direction of which way my life was heading to. And I started to put in the work and not talk about it, not talk about me digging myself out of this hole, not talking about me needing to lose weight, not talking about me needing to save money, stop talking about me starting a business, stop talking about working hard. When I stopped talking and I started to take action, I started to become happy. I started to have a smile on my face. I started to become a better son, a better brother, a better boyfriend, a better human being, right? Because at the end of the day, when we do the right things, we feel happy. We feel proud. We look in the mirror, and even though when you right now are listening to this podcast and you may look in the mirror today after you did everything you need to do today, even though looking back at yourself, or looking back in that mirror or looking in that mirror, you don't see the person that you want to see. But now that you're putting in some work, at least you can start seeing the person who you're going to be. When you start taking action and taking steps to become that version of yourself that you've been talking about for so long, actually not fighting yet, been talking about for so long, at least you can see that person looking back at you. At least you can squint and look and see the light at the end of the tunnel. But until you start taking action, until you start controlling your decisions, till you start controlling who you are now and who you want to become, you're going to continue to keep looking in the mirror and see the person looking back is not who you want to be. A person who you do not even recognize anymore. A person that is not truly happy. You have the opportunity right now to flip the switch. You cannot change anything that's happened in your past. You cannot change anything that's happened in your past. Not one thing. You cannot change that situation. But what you can do moving forward is you could change your thought process on that situation. You could change how you look at that situation. You could change that situation that brought so much hurt and pain and trauma into your life. And you could now say that is no longer going to control me anymore. I cannot change the past, but I definitely can change the direction of my future. And the only way that's going to happen is if you start doing the right thing and you start creating your own happiness.
All this happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.